How are you doing?
Hi, thank
Why are
you.
you carrying this kind of timid look on your face this morning? Okay, but then it's all smiles at the end of the day. You're
Okay.
thinking,
I don't understand what you mean.
okay, let's just leave it at that. But it's good to have you in the studio this morning. It's time for us to talk all legal matters on Probono Chambers. Of course, this is the platform that provides you with free legal advice. So, hey, it's time to give gifts. I love giving gifts. I feel like I was doing something.
I didn't get one yesterday from you.
Oh, come to think of it, okay, it's something we started talking about. We'll finish. We'll end the conversation somehow.
Thank
When
you.
we'll finish it. You're still in yesterday's. Please come back to.
I'm back
reality.
here, please.
Yes, it's pro bono. You're live on radio. Likewise on all the social media platforms. Yeah, on Facebook, and someone is currently watching you right now. So, okay. Today we'll focus on drunk driving.
Mm-hmm.
And it just brings to mind so many things I have only seen in movies that I'm like yet to maybe you're just driving by and you see that someone was just stopped maybe for over speeding, and then you start to check so many other things, and then you
Maybe
realize
giving a ticket to go and pay fine.
yeah, that kind of thing.
Those things don't happen
They
here.
don't happen here. We see them in the movies. So they're given a ticket and they're like, oh, are you drunk? Are you this? And the person may deny, and all that, but then they carry out a couple of tests and realize that, oh, this person is actually, is driving under the influence, especially of things like alcohol. Yeah. So what provisions do we have? I mean, about the law. What does the law say when someone in Nigeria is driving while they are drunk?
Okay. So before talking about the provisions, we have to talk about what drunk driving is and what it entails.
As
Yes,
always.
so let's discuss driving. Do you drive?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about driving here. Drunk driving, it's driving under the influence of alcohol or drug substance. Most times, driving entails not just your mental abilities, but then the physical abilities. So it involves a lot of activities, yeah? And then a lot of people who drive do not know that the intake of alcohol cannot only affect your mental ability to concentrate while driving. It goes beyond just your mental abilities. It goes to affect your physical abilities. It impairs your brain and affects your hands and your legs to move. It can make you too active or just too slow to respond to situations on the road. Now, as a driver, for the safety of yourself and others on the road, you need to be very observant and then anticipate for risk that can possibly happen. You need to also be conscious to respond immediately to situations that happen on the road. There's been a lot of accidents on the road, yeah? Some fatal near-to-death situations. People have lost their lives. People have had physical or mental disabilities because of road accidents. So that is why we are discussing drunk driving today. Now, statistics have shown that most of the accidents that happen on the road, especially as it is now, it's as a result of alcoholic intake. And then I know that we all know that we have bad roads that are still under construction and going through all of the whole construction and reformation and 2020 agenda.
Why are you excited talking about that?
No, now people blame the road accidents to the bad road.
A lot of times.
Some situations you find that most fatal accidents also happen on good roads instead of bad roads, because people are more careful on bad roads than good roads.
True.
So people speed more and they enjoy themselves more on good roads.
They feel there's no obstruction, so go with the flow.
So alcoholic intake disrupts the ability of one to actually drive for the safety of people on the road. Now it's like I said, goes beyond affecting just your physical states. It goes beyond that, and then it affects people in their different just in different ways.
Okay.
The way alcohol would affect a child is different from the way it will affect an adult. The way it will affect a lady is different from the way it will affect a man, and that boils down to substance intake. If you're a first-time substance, I'm not saying out of experience. I just know out of knowledge, please. So if you're taking it for the first time, it's going to be different from somebody who is on it. If you abuse drugs that are either prescribed or non-prescribed to you, that is how it affects you as a person. So it differs in accordance with now the persons and in the specifications I've mentioned. However, it is possible to dictate alcoholic intent 5 minutes after the intake of the alcohol. It's also possible to dictate it in one's blood. It's called this blood alcoholic content or blood alcoholic concentration. So it's possible to detect it in one's blood. After 30 minutes, it circulates in your blood, no matter how little the quantity is, and then it can be detected. Now, many instruments have been made by developing countries used to detect alcoholic intent in people or alcoholic content in the body of people, especially in the blood.
Tell us about Nigeria.
Okay, why I am talking about developing countries is because, they have much more importance attached to the life of their citizens. So the issue of road traffic violations are seen as high to the extent that penalties made for it in developed countries, yes, are very, very stiff. It is not,
because it involves the lives of people.
Exactly, it is not so in Nigeria. And in 2008, Federal Road Safety Commission won an award with the World Bank for being the best road traffic agency in Africa. And that was because, of course, they were working with the whole checkpoints and making sure that people drive with licenses and all that. But then this issue of penalties on road offenses have had just very few, let's say, penalties or provisions for the violators to be sanctioned. It boils down to just the provisions of the Federal Road Safety Establishment Act of 2007, where it was the penalties were laid down under Section 10 and Section 28. So they laid down the penalties for all of these road offenses. The fines, most of the fines were between 2,000 to 5,000. And wow. From that you can see that somebody can actually pay for those crimes before committing them.
I think yes. I mean, that's like what I want to say. Like some of these comedians will just say, if it's something like that, now they'll just pay for the entire month. Okay, you people just keep this because seriously. Now this involves people's lives. I mean, the life of the person driving himself, and then what if he even has passengers or people in other the other vehicles.
Okay, and then people, I don't think they actually think about that. Yeah, if much importance should be attached to the life of the citizens of Nigeria, they should also go to the great extent of making these penalties not flexible. Now, it goes to the extent of stating that if you're caught for drunk driving or any of these road violations, you have the option to go for court trial. So if you can't pay that money, you have the option of going for court trial. That is where.
Well, what does that entail if you're going for a court trial?
Mobile courts, they have a summary judgment concerning the issue of the violation that has been, stated. And then most of the courts also would go further to ask you to pay fine instead of serve any term in court, as is applicable in developed countries like the United Kingdom. Now, why I use the United Kingdom is because I know a few of the laws that concern road traffic violations or road violations. For instance, if you are caught for careless driving that has caused the death of another, you are going to be sentenced to the maximum of 14 years imprisonment.
Wow.
If you're caught driving carelessly on the road, you haven't caused anybody's death, you're going to be sanctioned to pay £2,500, which is over ₦1 million. Now, if that is the case in Nigeria, I think that will curb a lot of situations of drunk driving. Now, in Nigeria, in the provision I stated, that's the Federal Road Safety Establishment Act of 2007, the provision for drunk driving, if I tell you, I'm sure you might just rise from your seat.
Wow.
So the penalty is at 5,000 naira, for drunk driving.
No.
If you're caught for drunk driving and the intake of any drug substance, you pay 5,000 naira.
Now, is this in the incidents where you maybe didn't cause any harm to anybody? Then perhaps they will take 5,000 naira. Or what if you actually caused harm? You were involved in an accident and someone is even dead. What happens? The same, or nothing goes further than that?
Nothing goes further than that. That's why there's a need for it to be reviewed.
It has to.
It has to be reviewed, and then more stiff penalties be provided.
We have
for
people with their
issues like
private cars, those even running commercial. They take these things. I mean, especially like those running commercials. See them very early in the morning. There's doses of whatever, and they just take it. Now you're taking, in your hands the lives of people who are either breadwinners, people who mean everything to some other people. You have them in your car. That's and true. Yet your mental state is not at its best.
Good. Yeah. The Federal Road Safety had gone for that to procure. That was in 2014 to procure fertilizers. That is to check for
check one's
for alcoholic content in the blood of drivers or in the breath of drivers, however they do it. But then it's used to cover situations like this. And so far they have also established strategic places in some places in Nigeria for emergency ambulances. Places like Gwagwalada or Lokoja, for emergency ambulances to be called upon when issues like this or issues of fatal accidents results from drunk driving. The Federal Road Safety had had challenges concerning the drunk driving matters in Nigeria, and that is because of the increasingly accidents on the roads. So of course they have gone to a great extent to do that. However, blood can be taken from persons if there's a point where the drivers refuse to partake
admits
in
that he or she is drunk.
Exactly. So their blood samples can be taken to the lab and they can be tested. I believe this is one of those tools that the Nigerian government can put in place to at least save lives on the road, And
how about handing tickets to people? I mean, just like we were talking about what we see in the movies. When you just notice someone is speeding, go after that person, at least stop. I feel it's one of the ways, such accidents can be curbed as well. Because when you quickly go after that person, you stop him or her, midway. You find out what the problem is. Maybe the person is actually drunk, and at that point, of course, you won't let them drive any further, and that would have stopped, prevented many accidents. We can't tell in the future.
It goes beyond just dictating these people, goes beyond that. It goes further to using of technologies that could identify or catch up with the violators.
Okay.
Yes, so that you can pinpoint the violators and make sure that they face the adequate penalties. Now, of course, Federal Road Safety cannot do it all alone. There are other relevant authorities that they need to work hand in hand with to enable all of these laws work in place. So of course it's about not just the agency itself. So that technology, of course, is a high tech, and we are
yet to.
Yes, we are pleading that the Nigerian government makes that available for road safety to work.
Okay. Yeah. And let's together save lives. We'll come back on the conversation. Stay with us on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. We'll go on a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Human Rights Radio.
Kedu ife furniture, ọ bụ ife eji esi nri, ọ bụ akwa na akpụkpọ ụkwụ, ka ọ bụ akpa ụmụ gị ji eje akwụkwọ na ife iji achọ mma. Gbalubia Halibis Mall, isi ụlọ ngwaahịa anyị dị na plus 660 Cadastral Zone B1, Franca Febua Crescent Zone E, Apo Legislative Quarters, Gudu District, Abuja. Anyị nwekwara ụlọ ngwaahịa anyị ọzọ na number 1 Medical Center Road, Maraba, Abuja. Nke ikpeazụ bụ na number 21 Sariki Meizabo Road, opposite FMC, Kefi, Nasarawa State. Gwa anyị na ekwentị. Akara ekwentị ị ga-eji nweta anyị bụ 081 ka mkpọkwa ya n'olu ndị iti 08159510000. Halibis Mall nwere ife niile ị chọrọ n'ofu ebe. Ngwaahịa anyị adịrị ọnụ ma dịrị mma nke ukwuu. Gbalubia na Halibis Mall. Nnọọ.
Human Rights Radio.
Join our diverse team of legal experts as we provide education and guidance to you, our listeners, on a broad array of issues raised by the modern legal landscape, absolutely free on Pro Bono Chambers, airing on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
Thank you for staying with us. 23 minutes past 10 o'clock. It's Human Rights Radio 101.1. The program is Pro Bono Chamber. This is where we provide you with legal advice, and it's free. So if you have any questions, whether it concerns what we're talking about or not, as long as it has anything to do with the legal world, feel free to call in and you get your answers. The number to call is 08189999101. That is 08189991011. So any legal matter at all that you may currently be going through, you have questions about it, feel free to call in. And questions about what we're talking about, which is drunk driving, feel free to do that as well. If you want to know what provisions are there by the law, well, feel free to call in as well. See who's here. Hello?
Hello?
Please stay away from your radio.
Okay.
That's what usually happens when you do not turn off your radio before calling. You end up ending your call by yourself. Feel free to call back. Let's see if we get a call before we get back to Barrister Adana to tell us more. Hello?
Hello?
Please turn off your radio. Good morning.
Hello? Hello?
Good morning. What's your name?
Yes, I was trying to call this number. When I was calling you, she was ringing, but they're not picking it.
I have just picked your call, Mr.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. What's your name?
Okay. My name is Marcus Solomon.
Solomon. Okay, you're welcome to Pro Bono Chamber.
Yes,
hear
this
you.
is my first time to call this listener station.
Right?
Yeah. I'm from Kaduna State in one village, when they call Magata.
Okay, welcome. All
Yeah.
the way from this state.
Because my father is a retired army. When he was there in hospital, they're not going to pay him, but they're not going, I think on the when they say that making they pay the hearing power. Those people, this army people, so the place when they are paying it, they couldn't pay. Kuma, my mother is old. She can't fit to do anything. She was saying because she was looking for the money of my father. The document is with us.
Solomon.
Yeah.
Please, can I know what documents you have?
Pardon?
What documents do you have? What documents do you have?
I'm not hearing you well.
Okay, I said, what documents do you have to claim your father's entitlements?
Yeah, to me, I need you people to help me. I should bring the document to help me and check the document. I know how I will do the money making just come out. I should help my mother.
You're in Kaduna, right?
Yes.
You can go to the High Court in Kaduna. Go to the probate registry and ask for somebody to assist you check the documents you have.
He was retired in Mokoni here.
That's I understand.
The pensioner did in last year.
Where did you retire from?
He retired in Mokoni.
Okay, still go to the High Court in Kaduna.
The pensioner got my day in last year.
It doesn't matter. You can still go to High Court Kaduna just to review the documents you have.
Okay, High Court in Kaduna.
Yes, to review the documents you have, to know if you have the correct documents. Further go to claim the entitlements.
Okay, sir. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
For your call.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I'm just looking at the proximity of where he is and where the place he is. If I ask him to go to Makodi to review the documents, that won't be easy for him if he doesn't have the proper documentation to claim the entitlement. So it's better for him to go to a high court that is within his territory where it's going to be reviewed before he travels.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Are you hearing me, please?
Yes,
Yes,
we can hear
we
you.
can
What's
hear
your
you.
name?
Okay. My name is Christian. I'm
Okay.
calling from Apple.
Okay,
Okay.
Christian, good morning.
Okay. Please, I need a legal advice. I've worked with this company over 4 years, and later, within the 4 years, they are owing us 2 years, and later they laid us off in the claim that they don't have money again to finance to pay for the salaries. And for the past 2 years, they refuse to pay all the outstanding salaries. Like mine is amounting to $1 million plus. And whenever I go there to ask them for my money to take care of my family and so on and so forth, they keep telling us they don't have money, and I can see 1 or 2 projects they are executing, and they refuse to pay us.
Okay, Mr. Christian, can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Christian, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, so if you have all the documents you were employed with this particular
Yes.
company, you can institute a joint action with the other staff that was laid off together with you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but the voice is breaking.
Okay, if you can put off your radio and listen to me to advise you. That would be very good, thank you. So for Mr. Christian, yeah, he needs to call the other parties, that's the other staff that were laid off, and then go to the National Industrial Court since this action so that his entitlements can be paid to him. The entitlements are like his salaries and other money that are being owed. He can claim them. He has a right to claim them in the National Industrial Court. So he goes there and gets a lawyer to do that for him. But then they have to do it jointly. But he can do it
since
as
it's not
an
alone.
yeah, since he's not alone. He can do it as an individual, but it's best achieved if they jointly work together to.
Hello.
Hello.
Good
Yes.
morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Still, Mr. Christian.
Oh,
Okay, Mr. Christian, did you hear my
Yes,
advice?
I can hear you, yes.
Did you hear my advice?
Hello? I didn't hear you. The voice was breaking, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We thought you ended the call so you can hear through your radio. So listen to her now.
Okay.
Okay, so what I advised is for you to get best results, you need to engage other staff that was laid off with you.
Okay.
Get all the documents that you were used to employ, that was used to employ
Okay.
you in the company, and then go to the National Industrial Courts. You can get a lawyer to institute an action for
Okay,
you.
National Industrial Court. if I
Yes,
get you right.
yes. Of where the
Okay.
company is located. So if the company is in Abuja, go to National Industrial Court, Abuja.
Okay.
Yes, with your other staff. If you get 3, it's okay. 3 of you, you can proceed, and then institute an action because you have a right to all your salaries that are being owed, and then all your entitlements as is stated in your letter of employment.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
081. Have any ask that? Hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name is?
Actually,
All right. Go ahead.
hey, what happens if when the start of appointment was terminated without an information letter?
When one's appointment,
Without being given an information letter.
Without termination later.
Number of issues anyway with that. Pension being paid for 2 years, tax being paid for 2 years, despite the money being paid for monthly salaries.
okay,
With allowance not being paid and all that.
you're not quite clear.
Can you tell me now?
Yeah, you're
can hear you.
saying what happens when someone's appointment is terminated without giving an
Information letter.
Okay.
And also pension and taxes being owed despite being deducted from the person salary for 2 years, monthly salary 2 years. With allowance other stuff, which have not been given despite being given an employment letter and all.
Okay, this second part you just stated, I really don't understand. But for the fact of the first one you stated concerning termination letter, you're entitled to a notice of a termination of your appointment, especially if you are working in an organization as an employee under an employer, not a master-servant relationship. I think that's the part I got. I think I was trying to get the second part where you talked about pensions or something like that. But if you have any issue with your pensions office, you need to go down to your pensions office and see where the issue is coming from before you can refer to the company and then ask them to write down to the company for the deductions that are meant to be done.
hello. Hello.
Hello, madam. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Ahmed Isa.
Okay. Welcome. Go
I'm
ahead.
calling you from Gauraka, Kaduna Road.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, madam, I have a serious problem right now.
A serious
Hello?
what? Yeah, I can hear you. A serious what?
Yeah, I had a fire accident. I work with a company in Gariki area where I had this serious fire accident.
Oh no.
Okay, that
Sorry.
concerns health and safety of an employee. Yeah. He had a fire accident. I don't know the content of the issue, but whatever the content is, if it affects a third party, the company would be vicariously liable as regards to that. If it affects him as an employee of the company, whatever fire incident is entitled to compensation.
Well,
So
then, let's
whatever
see
the
if
issue
he's
is,
able to
I
call
really
back.
didn't get it.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to Probono Chambers. What's your name?
Good morning. My name is Yakubu. I'm calling from Bokolada Presently.
Okay, Yakubu, go ahead.
Yes. I want to report the loss of my bank this morning.
Sorry?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I entered the taxi from Tuesday to Icon Junction.
Okay.
I lost my traveling bag in the process.
Oh.
I just want to make a report in case anybody can help us.
Okay, what's your name again?
Hello?
Yakubu, he said. Yeah.
Oh,
Hello,
Yakubu.
can you hear me?
What's your full name,
Okay.
Yakubu?
Hello?
Yes,
What
we
is your
got
name?
you.
Hello?
Hello, Yakubu.
Okay. Don't know for whatever reason there, but yeah.
I'm sure whoever is listening will know that Yakubu lost his bag from somewhere to Nikon Junction.
Yeah, there. Okay. Who's here? Hello.
Hello, madam. It's Ahmad Isa called back.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
as I was saying,
Yes.
I was working with this company in the area,
That was 2013.
Okay.
So I had this serious accident that got my two hand bone. So they took me to Jabi Federal Staff Hospital.
Okay.
And then they abandoned me there.
Okay.
For good 4 years now, if I called my director that employed me, he will say that he has nothing to say to me. And they accused me of being a Boko Haram because they brought me from Kano then. They say I was a Boko Haram, that I hold a bomb to come and bomb the company. That is God that catches me, that the bomb exploded with me.
Okay,
and
sir.
it's not like that.
Okay, please.
I was at work and on duty when this thing happened to me. And there are people there, I have a lot of witnesses there.
Okay, Mr.
So
Ahmed.
since then, this man doesn't even want to hear from me, and he doesn't even want to see me. If I call him, he will not pick my calls.
Okay, Mr. Ahmed, do you have your employment letter from that company? Okay, oh, now I get the story. So if he has his employment letter from the company as well as the receipts of hospital payments he made from his own pockets, so during the period of which he had the accident, he doesn't even need to have the receipts. He also needs to have just pictures of the accident, of himself with the injury. If he has that, he can institute an action. However, I would advise him to go to an alternative dispute resolution center and make this complaint first. If it is not satisfactory to him, he can proceed to National Industrial Court, get a lawyer, get this action, make a relevant, the necessary claims as regards to that incident that had happened. The company will be brought to order.
Accident.
Of
Being a terrorist.
Exactly.
What led to the fire outbreak?
And then I talked about that being one of those things that an employee shouldn't do. Should not discriminate. Employer shouldn't employee and treat them unfairly. Just one of those. Or by Friday, we'll be addressing the workplace. Then I'll of this being Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
No. That's that one there. Please call back 08189991011. That is 0818110. Probono Chamber get to ask questions. Will be given free legal information. Call in and ask. You talking about drunk driving as well. About to tell us what is obtained
Nigeria, yeah. So so far in Nigeria we are trying to engage federal road safety as well as other relevant agencies to force road safety laws, make sure that penalties are also enforced on violators. However, the federal road safety set in patrol team to intervene to culture, road issues. Also, they've also the essence of this is to curb the accidents on the road is by 15%, fatalities by 25%. That was since 2004. Yeah, but then I think the penalties need to be reviewed. 2015, 1st of June to be precise, the Federal Road Safety had forced speed limits on vehicles. That is to ensure that they don't overspeed on roads. That also cuts across what we're discussing today concerning drunk driving. When people, like I said, some people get too active when they are drunk driving. So these speed limits should also be introduced to not just few commercial transportations, but then all of the commercial transportations as well as private persons who are driving with areas it's
I
not
mean, and
limited
even
to
in
them.
this particular period, so many people.
Yeah, travel on the
Travel
road,
and
the ember period. Yeah, a lot of people, especially in Nigeria, were keen on
and many
traveling on
tend
the
to be
road.
very excited. I mean, the end of the year comes with excitement. I don't know. And then now, come to think of it, if you were to drink on top of all that natural,
So you
it would
get
just be over the
too
board.
active, yeah. So there should be enforcement of the penalties on
Mm.
violators of road traffic laws, especially as regards to drunk driving. And then there's a need for a sensitization of people who drive, drivers, commercial drivers. And this also affects people who drive the bikes, the automobile, or what's it called, vehicles, keke.
Keke
Exactly.
napep.
Yeah.
All right, so
So
that's also
yeah.
applicable to them, yeah?
Yes, applicable to all persons who drive any
On
vehicle
the
on the
road.
road. Bicycle too is involved because you're on the road.
Okay. All right. So as long as you ply the road where there are cars and others have a. Hello.
Hello, good morning. My name is Joseph Adebayo. I'm calling from Abuja.
All right, Joseph. Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead,
Hello?
Joseph.
Yes, I can hear you clearly, please.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, my own issue is concerning an accident. I was working with one organization, Bank. So, and I had an accident last year, 2016. I was coming back from work.
Okay.
It was after evening when I closed for work. Then they rushed me to the hospital. My city leg was broken, and they rushed me to the hospital. I was there all through, and they abandoned me all that year. So a year after, just the last 2 months, that was September 28th, they now sent me a termination letter. So I just need an advice for that, please.
Okay. You had an accident. And was your office
Yes.
aware?
Yes. I had an accident while I was coming back from office.
From your office.
Yes.
You're not entitled to be paid by your office for an accident, except where it is stated in your contracts that if anything happens to you, yes, if anything happens to you, they can, where they have like insurances. Can you hear me? Okay. Certain companies put in place some assurances or insurances for their employees, and where it is put in place, then he's entitled to, health, health payments or health allowances as regards to issues like this. So he had an accident, and while coming from the workplace, he wasn't doing any work for the company, so the company is not entitled to pay him a compensation for having an accident, but then he's entitled to where that payment if it is stated in the contract of the company him.
Okay, in that particular sense, you say it has to be stated. It
has to be,
since
yes,
it wasn't directly on the job.
Not directly on the job, so it has to be indicated that.
But he was
you
at
are
that
entitled
place
to-
at that time because he was learning from that work he signed up.
It doesn't matter. Let me tell you, if I give you okay, for instance, yeah, I leave this office, yeah, then I'm going to say to, for instance, to go and have a drink with my friends, and on my way I decided to brand somewhere and something happens to me, then I say the company is supposed to pay me because I'm leaving the office at that point. No, that is not
So what if
not
you
fair.
went back home
So,
straight? I mean, if it was home,
even if I was going back home straight, but then where it's specified in my contract of agreement, contract of employment with the company, that I have where there are health challenges, I will have health allowances paid to me, then I'll be due to those. I can send them to court. So that is what I was trying to clear for him. Now he's only entitled to certain payments as accrued to health issues if it was stated in his contract of employment with the company. It doesn't matter if it was coming from the company to his house or not. That is one. Secondly, he talked about termination of his contract without recourse to his situation. Now that's why I asked, was the company aware you had this? Because yes, so that can be reviewed. That he can take them to court, say, oh, okay, where he was absent due to accident reasons or has accidents, the employment was terminated, duly or unlawfully terminated. So can institute an action for that, and then he'll be heard. The National Industrial Court. That's it. Just.
Not sure if we pick. No. Looking at the. Hello?
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Wow. Hello? Hello?
He wasn't due for any entitlements, but he was saving some money with arm
hello?
pension.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Can you start from the beginning? Can you start from the
Yeah,
beginning?
please. Can you start from the beginning? Because we didn't hear you from the beginning.
Okay. We lost my father last year due to shock.
Okay.
And when he was working, he wasn't due for pension yet because he worked for a few years.
Okay.
But meanwhile, he was saving some money with arm pension.
Okay. ARM.
Which got up to 2.6 million naira.
Okay.
We've been doing the papers. We finished the papers since last year, December.
Okay.
Each time we go there for our payment, they keep saying that the money, that the headquarters have not sent the money. Every time we go there, the place is in Calabar while I'm in Abuja, but my brother keep going there every time. They said they've not sent the money from the headquarters. So I want to find out if there is anything we can do, because we have our mother to take care of.
Okay. If you can get a lawyer to write to the ARM pensions, especially yes, if you get a lawyer to write to the ARM pensions, you write to the one in Abuja, the office in Abuja, and copy the headquarters. You know, refer to the manager in Abuja, copy the headquarters. Yeah, bringing the attention to this situation before you can further institute a legal action. Just write to them first. When you're writing to them, please attach all copies of documentation you have done with them earlier.
Okay.
So that you can make your claims. All right then.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, and that's it on the calls. And Barrister Dana is also ready to the studio.
I'm very ready to leave the studio.
Okay.
It's been an awesome time, though.
Okay. I was beginning to think otherwise. Well, it was fun for me, and I hope we have all enjoyed it. Those listening, those who participated as well. Thank you for being in the studio, Barrister.
Thank you for having me.
We'll do this again tomorrow, God willing, same time, same station. And this is where I say goodbye on all the programs. I'll see you tomorrow. First thing in the morning. My name is Ruth, and stay right here with us on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Infomercial is up next.
Join our team of legal experts as we provide education and guidance to you, our listeners, on a broad array of issues raised by the modern legal landscape, absolutely free on Probono Chambers, airing on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
This is your